Let me try to make sense of this. Okay, so Mark and I had dreams last night. His were about, he was meeting with Bill Johnson, and Mark was going to take him to coffee, and they ended up stopping at this castle. And Mark was showing him around. It's like we were going to be starting a church there or something like that. And they were just talking about how to kind of renovate the inside so that it would flow, so that it would work well for what they were doing. And it was just, Mark's dream was so detailed. And I told him I had had dreams about being at like Impact Camp, and we were the age we are now, that I was just able to be there and so feel so vibrant and so healthy and excited because God had renewed my health so that we could kind of parent, father and mother this generation of young revivalists. And then I also, in part of the dream there, I heard somebody interviewing like a couple of the guys from my high school football team, and they were state champs back then. And just a little school, so it was just such an amazing story. But as I was thinking about those three aspects of these dreams, God was just so clearly going, a castle, a camp, and a heritage of champions. And it just started exploding as I was kind of chewing on this. And God, what do you mean? What is this? And then as I was driving Maddie a little earlier, I was all the way to church. I'm like trying not to explode. But it's like God was talking about if we can get kind of an aspect of like Tauernhof or the Torchbearers, plus the aspect of Bethel with the School of Supernatural Ministry, and then aspects of Skywalker of just this wonderful, rural, tranquil environment, this home-like, where excellence is the norm, but every aspect of it is just this, the architecture and the nature and the work that's done there, and even the organic garden that was growing, it just all flowed together so beautifully. And then also thinking of like Walt Disney and the Lord of the Rings and Hogwarts and Harry Potter, and just these things that capture our imagination so much. And God's going, all of that is a piece. It's an aspect of heaven, and that's why we're so fascinated by it. And even like the Harry Potter world, it's like the good and the evil were allowed to grow up together, because if good is absolutely protected from any aspect of evil, then we can't grow stronger. We can't actually step into the calling we're given. But there's just this germ of an idea of a place where artists of all shades can come. We're not just talking painters or actors or singers. Yes, all of that, dancers, but horticulturists, chefs, teachers, explorers, dreamers of every kind can come and be immersed in God's wholeness and can thrive, can flourish. So it is education God's way, where it's absolutely Spirit-led. The roots grow down deep into a sense of stability and family, and yet there's these branches and these flowers and this flourishing garden of creativity and boundless imagination, where the church has stepped back from that for so many generations, allowing that to be the devil's territory, allowing Satan to steal, in a way, that true Garden of Eden from us. Because yes, music and creativity and makeup and dance and movies and all of that, yes, they can be used for evil. But our Creator God has so much to pour through us to reach this world, to show them His true character and His true personality and His true beauty, and that the individuality. I mean, I just see aspects of like The Greatest Showman, that music come alive, and you know, that song about home, and these simple home-like dreams, and yet a home like all of us have only imagined or longed for, whether it's in the church or in college or even in the Hollywood realm. You know, these longings to just fly with what God has implanted in our hearts. And yet there's been this corporation, this beast, controlling all of it. So in order to really thrive in what you feel called and inspired to do, you have to pay homage to this beast. You have to become a part of this incestuous system that steals the very life out of the heartbeat of that childlike longing and dreaming and inspiring to fly with what God has put in you. I'm going to try to get this down in words. Just a very heavenly place. And I know there would be attack and struggles, because any good kingdom, that happens. But God was just saying, look what I did with King Solomon. Look what I pulled together. Just because he asked for my wisdom, just because he wanted my kingdom on earth. It was just a shadow. And even this, if it could be everything that's even beginning to explode in my brain, if it could be any part of that, it would be just a shadow of what God has for us in heaven. But that's our deepest desire, that it would be on earth as it is in heaven. It's just, God, talk about a dream that's beyond what I can even imagine. I mean, I think of Disney trying to wrap his head around a place that would just allow kids to dream through hardship to imagination and unlimited, unfettered possibilities. And then, like, you know, what captures us about the Hogwarts and the Lord of the Rings and these kingdoms and these traditions, these rich, deep heritage places where there's this longing in us to be a part of that and to be a part of creating a home, a dwelling, a kingdom of unfettered imagination where people are truly given wings to fly and not put in prisons of man's making, of tradition, of fear, of serving the business rather than serving the Savior. This is all just so much bigger than my puny brain can handle, but luckily it reminds me a lot of when God was giving the thoughts for the fall, and I was like, yeah, you have to find somebody else to do that, because J.R.R. Tolkien's dead, last I checked, and it's not my ability. But this is so God. And I don't even know how to process. I'm just exploding, and with all of the hardship and the heartache and the attack and the death and the ripping and tearing at our faith that's been going on lately, and yet God being so solid and going down so deep and so strong in the midst of all of it. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's the heart's cry. And that's what we're going for. I've got to try to process this. God.